Here's John. He is 35 years old with a net worth of minus $50,000. He works a job that he doesn't hate but doesn't really enjoy much either for 40 hours a week. After he comes home, he doesn't even want to think about anything work related because he wants to enjoy all the possible free time he has with his friends and family. He continues to do this for another 35 years until he finally retires. Here's Linda. She is also 35 years old with a net worth of $1 million. She has no 9-to-5 job at all, yet still makes over $60,000 a year. She is financially independent and spends her days doing whatever interests her. But how is this possible? How can you achieve financial freedom like this? In today's video, we are going to dive into the book Financial Freedom by Sabatier. In this book, you can find a step-by-step path to financial freedom, so you can spend your precious time doing things that you love. As the sales pitch for the book says, forget everything you have ever learned about money so that you can actually live the life you want. In 2010, Grant had only $2 in his bank account. 5 years later, at the age of 29, his net worth was over $1.25 million. By the age of 30, he had reached financial independence. But how did he do this? He started by learning everything he could about finance and changed his perceptions about money. With this knowledge, he made a plan to achieve his goal to save $1.25 million. The plan involved working full-time, launching 2 side businesses, and investing in the stock market. Not the easiest way to live one's life, but to reach financial freedom, it is important to question the current social norms and be ready to make sacrifices. The 8th wonder of the world, compound interest. You might already have heard about compound interest, but let me quickly explain what it means. Let's say that you have invested $100 and you earn 8% interest on it annually. In the first year, you will receive $8. If you reinvest that, in the second year, you will earn $8.64. As you can see, with compounding, the value of your money increases over time, even when you are not making any new investments. While this doesn't sound much, it really adds up over time. Let's say that you invest $10,000 with an 8% annual return. After 2 years, you will have $11,600. But after 30 years, that $10,000 would be over $100,000. So as you can see, money can make you money. If you keep on reinvesting your profits, they will start to grow over time. So now that we know what compounding means, we can take the first step towards financial freedom, which is calculating how much money we are spending annually. This next value will change for everyone, so you might want to pause the video to accurately calculate your own number. Think about what kind of life do you want to live to know how much money you are going to spend annually. Add up all the expenses like rent, mortgage payments, taxes, travels, food, entertainment, and so on. Also think about other things that don't occur in your life at the moment, but might affect you in the future. For example, if you want to have children, calculate how much money do you need to raise them. After you have calculated your annual expenses, divide that number by 4%, aka 0.04. This resulting figure is the amount of money you have to have invested so you can live comfortably off the interest. But why 4%? It is the most commonly used rule for retirement spending. Basically, if you're investing in an index fund that yields an 8% return annually and you only need 4% to live your life, your investments will still keep on growing and the inflation also won't affect you. This is because you simply don't have to touch your principal because it gives you more money than you are spending annually. For example, if you have invested $1 million with an 8% annual return, you will earn $80,000. If your spending is 4%, you are only spending $40,000. So you can still invest $40,000, which keeps your net worth growing. Step number 2. Know your starting position, aka calculate your net worth. To calculate your net worth, simply subtract your liabilities from your assets. Assets mean things that you own, things like money in a bank account or money invested in the index fund or a house that you own. So first, write down everything that you own that is worth over $100, but make sure that you calculate the value that you will get for the item when selling it. Just because you bought a Guinea pig armor for $24,000 doesn't mean you will get that much money when selling it. Next, write down your liabilities. Liabilities basically mean debt, so write down everything that you owe. Credit card debt, student loan debt, mortgage, and that $1,000 bet you lost to your friend. Now, when you subtract liabilities from assets, you will get your net worth. Don't worry if it is negative, that is normal for people starting their journey to financial freedom. For example, if you are 25 years old and have $300,000 mortgage, it's no wonder that you have more debt than savings. Simply add the amount of debt you have into your savings goal. If your net worth was positive, congratulations, subtract it from your savings goal. Step number 3. How much of your life are you trading for your purchases? This is James. He goes to work 5 times a week and starts his every morning by going into the Starbucks close to his workplace, where he purchases a coffee for $6. However, this isn't the real value of the coffee. The real value is the number of hours it takes to work to be able to buy this coffee. And in fact, you would have to make like $8 to $9 to actually have enough money to buy it, because you have to pay taxes for your earnings. For small things like coffee, this doesn't really matter, and I personally don't recommend you to live in misery to save $6 every now and then. However, you should really think about this with more expensive purchases like outfits, cars, phones, etc. Do you really need a new phone every year? Is it really worth it to work for 150 hours to be able to buy that new phone when your old one is still working perfectly? Simply find out how much money you earn per hour and you are able to know what is the real cost of every item you purchase. Point number 4. Cut back on your costs to increase your savings. Instead of budgeting every cent you are spending, you should focus on the largest costs. The big 3 costs are housing, transport and food. If you can cut these costs, your savings will increase significantly. According to Business Insider, the total annual expenditure on all goods and services for the average household ranges from $49,000 in Tampa to $84,000 in Seattle. So let's say that you are spending $40,000 a year for the big 3. If you can cut that down by 30%, you will have an extra $12,000 to invest. But how can you cut down these costs? Housing. To save money on housing, you can for example downsize or move to a more affordable neighborhood. You don't have to do this for your whole life. If you save on housing for a few years, it will give your savings a significant boost. Transport. To save money on transport, you can try to use public transport or car sharing, or instead of a car, drive a moped. This of course isn't possible for everyone, so also consider, do you really need that brand new Lamborghini, or is old but well-working Ford Focus enough? But what about food? The book suggests starting with looking for some online retailers that offer a discount for repeat orders. So make a list of items your household always uses and then place a regular order with a discounting site. And when eating out, stick to tap water and take advantage of promotional deals. Step number 5. Look for ways to optimize your 9-to-5 paycheck. To most of us, work is just a place where we visit 5 days a week, and after that we don't even want to think about it. But instead of seeing work as a chore like that, we should see it as a part of our wealth building strategy. Because of this, you should find opportunities that support your financial goals, such as pension fund. It's highly likely that your workplace can give you free money up to a specified amount, so start by looking into that. Whenever you add money to your pension fund, that amount is taken out before you pay taxes, which means that it reduces your overall taxable income. Ask for a raise. This might feel intimidating, but if you do it in the right way, you can remove a lot of that discomfort. Start by looking at what other companies are paying for employees in the same role that you are currently in. Think about your perceived value to the company. Choose your timing wisely. For example, your boss will be thinking about your value before a performance review. That is a good time to ask for a raise, at least if it proves that you are valuable. Also, make your request in percentage. If you ask for a 10% raise, it sounds far less than asking for an extra $5,000. You might also want to think about changing your workplace. According to research, the average salary increase when changing jobs is 14.8%, while wage growth is only 5.8%. Work remotely. If possible, try to work remotely. This cuts your commuting time and expenses, plus gives you more flexibility. Thanks to COVID, this is now easier than ever, so try to see if it is possible in your workplace too. Step number 6. Side businesses. If you work for 40 hours a week, there are still 128 hours left in the week. So think about starting side businesses that diversify your income. Having a side business is an important part of achieving financial freedom, because with your day job you can only trade your time for a set income. Since you have to spend your precious free time with your side business, try to start a side business that generates money with very little effort and is something you really like to do. That way it is much easier to stick with it. And don't forget to maximize your earnings by investing all the money you make from your side business. The last step, take action. As with every self-help book, it is completely useless to know all of these things if you don't take action. So the last step is actually the first step, start to take action. Even if you don't feel ready yet, you should still start, because every day your money isn't compounding, you are losing wealth and increasing the years it will take to reach financial freedom. So spend an hour to make a plan for your financial goals, start to look for those ways to optimize your paycheck, or start your side business. Whatever you decide to do, just remember to commit to it. It will take time to become financially free, but you will thank yourself later. That is the book Financial Freedom by Grant Sabatier summarized. In short, calculate how much money you are spending annually, then divide that number with 0.04 to know what is your financial goal. After that, calculate your current net worth to know your starting position. If it is negative, add it to your savings goal. If your net worth is positive, subtract it from your savings goal. The third step is to change the way you think about money. Instead of thinking that a new phone costs $1,000, think about how many hours you have to work for it. After that, it's time to cut back on your costs. The big three of costs were housing, transport, and food. Don't budget every cent you are spending, instead focus on those three. You can never have too much money, so look for ways to optimize your paycheck. Start looking into things like pension funds, ask for a raise, or try to work remotely. The sixth step is to start side businesses. With your day job, you can only trade your time for a set income. Start a side business that generates money with little effort and is something you enjoy doing. And that's it, now just take action. If you found this video helpful, you might also want to check out some other book summaries shown on the screen. Feel free to leave any comments down below and leave a like to help my channel grow. Thank you for watching, I'll see you next week. Have a great day, bye!